Hey, what's going on everyone? Super excited today to be testing out the brand new Lectric Lite 2.0. This is the original Lectric Lite, which has been one of my favorites because it's very easy to take camping with you for its small portability, lightweight at around 49 pounds, and just packs up really easily. So this is the one that we always take camping because my son can ride it, I can ride it, my wife can ride it. It's just very versatile, very lightweight. And we always end up taking her car when we go on vacations and camping, and this takes up less room than some of my bigger fat tire bikes. But we got the brand new Lectric Lite 2.0 here today, and it has some amazing upgrades. If you've seen my review video a while back on this one, you'll notice one of the things I complained about was that they made the frame a little bit shorter and you couldn't put a bigger battery in. Well, this is the first major upgrade to this Lectric Lite 2.0, is that the frame is about 3/4 inches longer in this front half, and you can actually put up to a 14 amp hour long range battery in this bike instead of just being limited to the 7.8 amp hour battery that you can put in the original one. That's the first major upgrade. And as I name off these upgrades, keep in mind that they have not changed the price. They kept the price at $799 for the base price, which is amazing because not only can you put the bigger battery in here, but this is now going to have hydraulic disc brakes with 180mm rotors on both the front and the rear, which is crazy that they include that now and no extra price. As you can see, another cool update is the BMX style handlebars, which is really nice. They still fold down, and it still has the really low seat height at around 27.5 to 28 inches for the minimum seat height. So if you're a smaller rider like my son, no problems getting on this thing and being able to touch flat-footed. For an extra $200 for, I believe it's like $9.99, you can get the 14 amp hour long range battery with this. And then if you want to add the additional carry package like I have on here, I don't have the full package on, just the rear rack, but you could get a rear rack for this, fenders and pannier bags for somewhere around $120, I think it is, or $150. I'll put all the links down below to the bike, the packages, and everything. If you guys are interested after watching this video, please consider using that link. It will help support this channel, and I will receive a small commission, which is what helps me creating these reviews. So I really appreciate it if you guys consider using that link if you feel this is the bike for you. But make sure you watch the whole video first to see what kind of performance this has, because we're gonna go take it on a good ride, put it through some good tests, going up some hills, seeing what kind of power this 300-watt hub motor has, what kind of speed it can max out at, and just see how it performs overall on the normal trip that I take through town. You're not gonna wanna miss that. So that's the first few upgrades: the ability to put a bigger battery in, BMX style handlebars, hydraulic disc brakes. But for an extra $100, you can also add a Gates carbon belt on this thing and have it be a belt drive instead of having to deal with a chain and lubricating a chain all the time, worrying about dirt and everything getting in there. It would be a really smooth ride with that belt if you end up going that option. But the updates didn't stop there. This thing's now sporting an M7C-2 color display. So they did away with the black and white display, and this is the same display that's actually on their Lectric One, if I'm not mistaken. When I went down to test that bike out, pretty sure it had the same display on here. Really nice upgrade in my opinion. Now this 48-volt battery is powering this 300-watt motor with a 15 amp controller hidden inside the frame right here, and there is a watt meter on the display, which is really nice to see. So we'll see what the max peak is when we're hitting some hills when we go on the test ride. And one other awesome feature is this bike also comes in a new color now called Lavender Haze, which I think is going to be a very popular color, but it still also comes in all other 4 colors. Just a little bit of a difference in the paint scheme here versus the old one. It still comes in blue, sandstorm, black, white, but now a new Lavender Haze. But leave a comment down below and let me know which one you think looks the best. Another awesome feature that's new is you can go in the P12 setting in the display and you can make this light flash automatically, the front light and the rear light. When you turn the bike on, it'll start flashing, or you could just go ahead and hit the button up here and make it be a solid light. So you have the option to either have solid light or flashing light, which is really nice now for riding during the daytime. But those are some of the main features, and like I said, I'm very, very happy that they went with a little bit bigger frame so that you can use that long range battery, because you could probably get a ton of range out of this bike if you had that long range battery in here. Now, as a disclaimer, they did send me this bike for testing and review, and to be honest, I wish they would have sent the one with the Gates carbon belt. I would have really loved to have tested that one out, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Still an awesome bike, still love all the upgraded features. But let's get into the ride and see how it performs. And I'll also put links down below to my accessories that I use on all my bikes: AirTag, bells, alarms, locks, rack bags, things like that. So if you're interested in anything like that, please make sure you check out the links down below. Let's get into the ride test. All right, everyone, here we go. Up the first hill I go up in all my tests. We're in pedal assist 5. We're gonna hit this hill with full throttle and see what kind of speed we can maintain. and if it can even pull me up this hill with this 300 watt motor. Now throughout this ride test, I want you to listen to this motor and how quiet it is. They say it's 400% quieter than the original Lectric Lite. It's the new M24 motor, which I believe they're going to be using in all their bikes from now on, and it is super quiet. But so far, it's pulling me up this hill. GPS says 4 miles an hour, 5. So right around 4 to 5 miles per hour, but it's pulling me up this, which is amazing. Because if you watched my hill test video I did coming up this hill with multiple different bikes, there were some 500 watt bikes and I believe 750 watt bikes didn't even make it up that hill with me on it. So that's amazing that this pulled me up there and it didn't sound like it was straining at all. Now I really don't recommend doing that. I would definitely help pedal it a little bit and help it out. It's going to help a long way as far as your battery life goes, your controller life, your motor life, and everything like that. So please pedal up some of those hills. Just a little bit of effort will go a long way just by helping it out a little bit. But this bike is super quiet, guys. The motor on this bike, you can barely even hear it. So as I said, this bike is using hydraulic disc brakes, and that's pretty crazy for a bike that's this light to be using hydraulic brakes and 180 millimeter rotors. It's definitely overkill, but stops very nice. Brakes seem very good on here. Very nice free upgrade, basically, because they're not charging you any extra to have hydraulic brakes on this brand new 2.0 model. All right, so here we go, pedal assist 1, and I have my P22 setting so that I have full throttle at all times. Looks like around 7 miles per hour in pedal assist 1. Pedal assist 2, barely felt any increase there. Pedal assist 3, I could definitely feel it bumping up there a good bit. Looks like around 12 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. Looks like about 16, 17 miles an hour. We're gonna just drift here a little bit. We'll see when the motor kicks back in at what speed. We'll see. Yeah, it looked like the speed picked up about 16 miles an hour there for pedal assist 4. But we'll test pedal assist 5 out once we get on a longer straight level stretch, and we'll just see how fast this bike will do with just throttle and with pedal assist. I was racing a little squirrel there. You probably didn't see it, but he's running right next to me. Very quiet though. One thing I do want to note though is that this chain was fairly tight on this bike on the single speed when I got it, and it felt a little funny pedaling. I just had to loosen up the chain slightly, and this back wheel actually mounts on here a lot differently than the first version. It actually has this additional mount here, and the wheel bolts into that mount instead of into the frame. And what's awesome about this design is that the brake caliper mounts to this bracket as well. So when you adjust the wheel forward and back, the brake caliper and everything is moving, so it's going to stay lined up with your rotor. On the original Lectric Lite, the brake caliper is mounted to the frame, so if you would adjust your chain tension forward or back, the rotor would move in and out of the brake caliper. So really nice upgrade design here. This is the same design that they're going to have on their Lectric 1 model. We'll try pedal assist 5 here though real quick, see how it starts. Very nice and gradual start. No problems with that. It doesn't want to throw you off. Very, very nice upgrades though here, guys. Definitely worth looking into if you're looking for a nice lightweight bike to take camping or ride around the campground, or just something really easy to load up in your car. But this seat is definitely very hard, but I will leave links down below to the seat that I recommend the most, the Cloud 9, as well as a suspension seat post that would fit this bike perfectly. Now I'm not riding with it in here, just so I could show you how it performs stock with the way it comes. But you better believe whenever I'm riding this for fun, I'm definitely going to be putting a suspension seat post and a more comfortable seat in this bike, because my butt is going to start hurting here probably pretty soon, depending on how many bumps I hit. All right, getting these brakes nice and warm here, 26 miles an hour. We're going to see how they stop at the bottom of the hill. I'm just riding them here gently, trying to get them nice and warm. Shouldn't have no issues stopping down here at the bottom. Very quiet so far. And when you get your bike out of the box and go over it, make sure you wipe your rotors off with a brake cleaner. Oh yeah, lock them up, no problem. Or like a really high percentage rubbing alcohol would also work. But you want to wipe off those oils before you ride it and embed them oils into your brake pads. Check out my original electric video, what you should know on your first e-bike or what to expect. Some of those tips are gonna also fit this model here. Been a very popular video ever since I made it, so check it out. You'll get some good tips about folding, about the key, that'll pertain to this bike, about the brake rotors, and probably a couple other things about turning and riding too if you're a newbie. Highly recommend checking that video out. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can go right to it if you're interested in seeing it. It was one of the first videos I did a few years back with the original Lectric XP, the first bike I ever purchased. But to be honest, in all reality, guys, Lectric has been one of my favorite companies. They're a US-based company that has become one of the most popular e-bike sellers in the United States in the past few years, selling over 400,000 bikes. So that's got to tell you something there. I mean, go check out the forums, read the reviews. Very good company, very good customer service, and very, very nice to have that support to be able to call and talk to someone on the phone whenever you need it. All right, here we go, throttle only. Let's see what we got. 19, 20, 21, and I felt it cut. 20 miles an hour, kick back in, and holding pretty steady. There's 19 on GPS, 20 on the display. So pretty safe to say 20 miles per hour, and it's exactly 20 on the display and was 20 there on the GPS. So pretty accurate as far as the odometer reading goes as well, or speedometer, I should say. And this is me putting pressure on. So this is the Cadence at 20 miles an hour. It's doable, a little bit fast. And I'm using 442 watts right now. Let's quit pedaling and just use the throttle. Now it's bumping up to 550. So you can see you do gain a little bit of efficiency there when you put a little bit of effort in. 800 watts. Actually, it's saying it's peaking out over 800 watts. Pretty nice though. I'm telling you, it pulled me up that first hill, no problem. And that was with a fresh battery. We'll try it again at the end to see if it still has the power after the battery gets down a little bit. All right, gonna go up this short incline here. See what we can maintain. I am pedaling a little bit, putting a little bit of effort in. It's pumping out almost 800 watts here. Probably can't see it, but right in the corner of the display. Pedal assist 5, still maintaining like 14 miles an hour. And I keep forgetting to put my bar end mirrors on here when I review these bikes. Highly recommend a bar end mirror. I'll put a link down below to it as well. That way you can see what's coming up behind you and get over off the side of the road so nobody hits you. But the bar end mirrors work good because they tend to stick out a little further and then you can see past your shoulder. So if you're interested in one of them, check out the link down below. Another thing I forgot to mention was that this has reflective strips around the tires, which really makes it nice for riding during the night or even during the day when some headlights will hit the tires. It will help you be seeing a little bit better. So love that feature there. And you can tell that the new tires are a little bit more of a road tire, not as aggressive as the original. Gives it a really nice look. And you can see here where I was talking about, instead of the wheel actually mounting in the frame, there's a bracket that mounts onto the frame and then the wheel mounts into that. And that way you could just loosen these 3 screws here and use this bolt here to adjust your chain or your belt. Another nice upgrade that I think they did after I reviewed the initial Lectric Lite, my light started becoming loose. So really nice to see that they put 2 mounts in here for your tail light. I'll be putting the rack and maybe the fenders here in the future. So I'll be taking this bracket off anyway and mounting that light directly on that rack. Cause you know me, I like to carry my gear. Gotta have a spot for my bags. But yeah, this seat, hard as a rock, like all the other ones, definitely gotta go. Come on, Lectric, put some foam in there. But all the other features, pretty much the same as the other model, with the control pad here, half grip throttle on the right-hand side. But you can see that new display, really nice looking. Shows you the wattage up here, and you could cycle through trip meter. There's a mode there for range. I don't know exactly how it calculates that to tell you how much range it has left. If you have a larger battery, I'm not sure how it's going to know how much range you got, but I don't know, maybe it is accurate, maybe not, I don't know. Something I'll have to test over time. Voltage, current, timer, and odometer. Back to the trip. Now, one thing I wish they would have changed about this, when you shut the bike off and turn it back on, it resets your trip meter. I really wish they would have put a mode there where you could just reset it yourself and it would hold your trip for as long as you wanted, but it's like that on all their bikes. You can see here when you have your light set to flash, there's a little light icon that will flash, and a cruise control icon will come over here. It does have cruise control like their other models. Nice long battery level indicator up top with your watt meter here. Speedometer and obviously your pedal assist level here in the center. One thing I wasn't really a big fan of is all the wires up here. They seem a little bit excessively long, and I just could not get this thing to set right. It was in front of the light earlier. I kind of got it to where it's not hitting the light now, but it was a little tricky to get it that way. I had to unwrap it down here and then rewrap this light wire in a little bit differently to just keep that out of the way. But you can see here on the front, it still has a mount for a rack on the front, water bottle or lock holder or something you can mount here. But overall, pretty sweet little light ride. But it looks like it's getting a little dark here, and we are supposed to possibly get some thunderstorms, so I gotta get going and get back home. Let's go hit some more hills. Yeah, it was getting dark quick though, so hopefully I make it home before getting stuck in the rain. We're gonna try to make it home as quick as possible. But what's nice about this bike is it's pretty easy to maneuver, being as light as it is, and the frame is, from my measurements, about an inch longer overall. I mean, don't hold me to that exact measurement, but I did weigh it on my scale. My scale was weighing it in at about 48 pounds. I think they said the original one was 49. This one might be 49 too. My scale might be slightly off, but it is slightly longer with, I believe, a little bit longer reach. But what's nice about these BMX style handlebars is you can actually loosen them up and fold them or roll them back towards you to give you a little bit less reach if you need it. All right, here we go, everyone. Steepest hill in town. Let's see how this bike does. And with this single speed, this is where you kind of wish you could downshift and help it out a little bit more. I'm gonna probably have to hang on here with two hands. Do gotta put some effort in to get up here with this 300 watt motor, but it's peaking at, let's do some throttle. Right now, 773 watts. But it was peaking over 800 earlier, probably when the battery voltage was a little bit higher. So I would say it peaks around somewhere around 800 watts. And I love the fact that you could see all the information you need on the display as far as the watts go. You can see how much current it's outputting. Right now it's outputting 15 amps of current and 761 watts. It tells you the battery voltage if you need it. Right now I'm down to around 49 volts. So far though, not bad. Pulled me right up over this whole hill with just a little bit of pedaling here. Like I said, when you get to the steeper parts, you do have to put a little bit of effort in. But overall, not too bad. All right, let's try the steeper hill here. I can't talk. No problem. I'm barely putting any effort into this. 750 watts. Right up it, no problem. I was trying to put minimal effort in there on purpose. I probably would have normally put a little bit more effort in on my own. But if you like the feel of an old school BMX bike, then this is probably the one to get. And one last thing I forgot to mention is that the handlebars on this, I believe, are somewhere around an inch wider than the original Lectric Lite that I reviewed. So very nice, a little bit more controllability there with the wider handlebars. And I gotta say, I love, oh, that's weird. Okay, so that's something new. The display is flashing hot. All right, so that's strange. The display is now flashing hot down below and blinking the speedometer on and off. So maybe the controller got hot coming up those hills because I wasn't putting a whole lot of effort into it. But we're gonna go ahead and see if the power is limited now, because we're almost back to the hill we initially went up, and we're gonna see what happens there. If it makes it up that hill, no problem, or if it's gonna limit my power now because the controller's hot. I have seen some other bikes that I reviewed limit the controller once the controller got hot, but one of those was on a 30 amp controller, and that thing would get super hot. Oh, there, it actually quit and actually went back to normal now, so maybe it's starting to cool down. But anyway, I did see that happen on a few other bikes before that I reviewed. When it would get hot, it would limit your power if your controller was hot, and that would prevent things from burning out. So it's kind of nice that it's a safety feature. So let's hit this other hill. Maybe I'll do throttle only again, and we'll see what happens there. All right, we're gonna hit this hill with just throttle. This is the one we initially went up. I'm not gonna start in the same spot, just got a little bit of a run for it. 21 miles an hour GPS, 18 and 18, so pretty close there. 751 watts of output, 750. Still at throttle only, 15 amps of current. And I don't think it's gonna make it up this time. Maybe. GPS is showing 3. No, it's 745, I'm gonna stop there. It was showing 3 miles an hour on my GPS, so it did not make it up this hill the second time. That is after 7.3 miles, and my battery voltage is down to 47.5 volts. So it is getting about 70 or some less watts than it was whenever I had a fully charged battery. It did not overheat again, even though I just put it through that test there with just throttle. So that's a good sign, but that was kind of neat to see that it did flash hot. So that makes you think there's some kind of protections in there from you burning out your controller. So yeah, you will lose some power once your battery voltage starts to get a little bit lower. And you can see here, I just started out mid-hill, putting a little bit of effort in, not a whole lot, and I'm climbing right up it, no problem. So like I said, just pedal a little bit up these hills and you shouldn't have any problems. Definitely for a 300 watt nominal motor though, this thing's definitely putting out some good power. No complaints there. So I hope you found this video helpful. And like I said, if you're interested in picking one of these up, please check out the links down below in the description. If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing, checking out some of my other videos, and I will see you all around on the next one. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, everyone.